Donc, merci beaucoup. On commence avec le futur simple. Si vous avez des questions sur ce qu'on a fait la semaine dernière, vous pouvez poser. Avez-vous des questions? Avez-vous des problèmes? Avez-vous des commentaires? Si vous avez des problèmes, des commentaires, allez-y. Il faut me dire avant de continuer avec le cours pour aujourd'hui. Avez-vous des questions? Avez-vous des problèmes? If you have questions, issues on what you saw or discussed last week, you can ask quickly before you continue of today's lesson. And as usual, if you have any question, do well to raise your hand electronically or technologically so that I can see you and call you by your name to ask your question or comment. Avez-vous des questions? Allô, classe, avez-vous des questions?
Non, monsieur.
OK, on continue. Alors. So look at the formation of the future tense. This is in English, so you should be able to understand, read, understand here. To form the future tense or term, first of all, you need to use the infinitive as a stem. Use the infinitive as the stem. And two, add the appropriate future endings. Add the appropriate future endings to the word. Then you get it accordingly. You need to hold, first of all, to form the future stem, you have to hold. Use the infinitive as a stem. Use the infinitive as a stem. So infinitive, for instance, if you are talking about the verb manger, manger, the infinitive is the manger, that ends of E-R, okay? And if it's danser, danser is the infinitive stem. Voyager is the infinitive stem. So just to form, use the infinitive as a stem. Okay, sortir, use the whole verb as a stem. And then you continue. But when it comes to, and before you add appropriate future endings, these are the endings. A-I, A-S, A-O-N-S, A-Z. Et finalement, O-N-T. That's how we are supposed to conjugate it. But when it's about RE verbs, you need to drop the E. You drop the E. You need to drop the E. Okay? You drop the E. Drop the E from the infinitive before adding the appropriate endings. That is it. For example, if it's about the verb prendre, le verb prendre. This is how prendre is written. Then you drop the E. You take away the E. Once you take away the E, this becomes the stem. P-R-A-N-D-R is the stem now. So that we can see je prendrai. Okay, this is it. Then it becomes like this. This is the ending. A-I. Then you continue. The second one, A-S. Troisième, A-O-N-S, A, and so the suite. This is how you're supposed to conjugate it. The above rules are only applicable to all regular verbs. That is, you see the verb ending in ER and they are regular. They follow the normal or specific pattern of conjugation. Then you go by this rule. That is the point. But to conjugate irregular verbs in the future time, you need to know the following irregular future tense. Don't forget that. So the point we are trying to make is this. In French, conjugating future tense or time, you need to use the infinitive form of the verb. You need to use the infinitive form of the verb as the stem. Then you add the appropriate endings. These are the endings. When it comes to the RE verbs, you just have to drop the E and then you add the endings. And we are saying that all that we are saying here is only applicable to regular verbs. We did that last semester, don't forget. We have regular verbs in the language. So all the regular verbs ending in ER, IR, RE verbs, you follow this step or these rules when it comes to conjugation. But when it comes to the irregular ones, you need to know the future tense. If you don't know the future tense, there is no way you can conjugate. So do well to understand. I'm trying to explain this to you in English so that you can get it very well. So let's continue. Now to the list of future tense. Some of the future tense here. For instance, I want to conjugate the verb avoir. Avoir, which is to have. You need to know that you can't just come and add RE to this. No, ce n'est pas correct. You can't come and drop the RE, the E here, because you say when it's RE verb, you drop the E. You can't do it this way. These are future tense. All the verbs here are future tense. They don't follow the specific part. So you can see, you need to get the R-E-L. Without this, whatever you write is wrong. J'aurais, tu auras, elle a, aura, nous aurons, vous aurez, elle, elles auront. When we are conjugating it. When it comes to être, also, this is the future tense. Ser, S-A-R. Before you start adding A, E, A, S, A, O-N-S, E-Z, A, O-N-T. Before you can add all that. When it comes to aller, you want to say, I will go. J'irai à la maison. J'irai à l'étranger la semaine prochaine. J'irai à l'étranger à la semaine prochaine. I'll go abroad next week. I will go abroad next week. So you need to know that this aller, you don't know ER, you can conjugate it. So once you know it to be the stem, then you can say, write it like this. Then you continue à l'étranger. Where is my accent? Okay. Okay. J'irai à l'étranger et accent aigu. Class, are you following? Est-ce que vous me suivez? Vous me suivez?
Monsieur.
Okay. So, étranger. J'irai à l'étranger la semaine prochaine. J'irai à l'étranger la semaine prochaine. It means j'irai à l'étranger la semaine prochaine. I'll go abroad next week. I'll go abroad. I'll go overseas next week. So you need to know it like this. Then you can devoir. You can see the stem. Dev, D-E-V-R. Envoyer. That is it. A-N-V-A-R-R. You need to know it that. Venir. Venir, to come. Viendre. You need to know it like this. Il viendrait, tu viendras, elle viendra, nous viendrons, vous viendrez, elles viendront. You need to know it like that. Faire. You need to know F-A-R. Falloir. F-A-U-D-R. Ford. You need to know if falloir is to be, is like, it's necessary. It's like, it's obligatory. We used to show an obligation. Il faut manger. Il faut danser. Il faudra venir. It's like you would have to come. It's necessary to come. So, and it's always conjugated in the third person singular. We use the il to conjugate it. So don't forget that. I think we did this last semester. Elle If it's present, il faut, like this. If you future stem, future time, once you know it, as you can see, this is step regular, then you say il faudra, okay, or il faudra, like this, as it is. Then here you can't conjugate, you can't say il faudra, tu faudra. It's always il. That is a fact. If it's l'imparfait, il fallait. So you do all that. If it's passé composé, il a fallu. We do all that, and then you get to understand that. Okay, let me create it so that what we want to deal with can appear. So that is it. Bien. OK. Donc, c'est ça. Recevoir, OK. Pouvoir, to be able or can. So, P-O-U-R-R. So, if you see any verb and you have to conjugate in the past, future state, future time, or future tense, you need to know this. If you don't know it like that, you can't conjugate pouvoir. Recevoir, look at it. You need to know the stem. Savoir, to know something or to know how to do something. Okay, last time we discussed, so we have, there's a difference between savoir et connaître. Quelle est la différence? Quelle est la différence entre le verbe savoir et connaître? Savoir faire quelque chose. Savoir danser, savoir manger, mais quand on dit connaître, on connaît quelqu'un, on connaît un lieu, mais on sait faire quelque chose. On sait faire quelque chose, mais on connaît, par exemple, je peux dire, moi, je connais Jeffrey Nana, je connais Jeffrey, je connais David, je connais Michael, je connais la France, je connais. Mais si c'est savoir, par exemple, moi, je peux dire, je sais manger à la pewa, je sais danser, je sais chanter. Like I know how to do something, you use savoir for it. And then if it's to know someone or a place, then you use le verbe connaître. Il faut comprendre ça bien. Donc, falloir, valoir, that is also the descent there. Très bien. Okay, let's continue. So these are the stems. Vouloir. You want to say, you want to, I will want to something. Okay. So vouloir, you need to know vouloir is voudre. V-O-U-D-R. Voir is to see. You want to say, I will see. Okay, or he will see. Il verra. Il verra. Nous verrons. Vous verrez. Elles verront. So this is constant. This is constant. Know that it's constant. Please take note of that. Appeler, pleuvoir. Okay, to rain. That one too, it goes only the third person singular. Air, it rains, it's raining. That order. You can't say I rain, you rain. No. Ça n'est pas ça. Bon, appeler. Appeler is to call, to call someone, to call. Appeler. Now, this is it. It's regular. Look at it. The only difference is the infinitive form is one L. But when it comes to the irregular future stem, you need to double it. It's LL. You have two L here before you add the appropriate endings. Take note of it. Take note of even Francophone learners or students. Normally, they find this difficult because they can even write this one, the dog, as the infinitive form. So take note of it. Everybody for learning, take note of it, the correct spelling. Then jeter here to the same, like appeler is you write tete, two T's. But when it comes to the infinitive, one T. Nettoyer, the Y change to I. We did that last semester. Acheter, okay. This one, the only difference is with the accent graph. The E here we place accent graph becomes accent graph here. Mourir, M-O-U-R-R. Got the spelling. Courir, here to the same. C-O-U-R-R. And then KE and its compounds, they follow the same pattern of conjugation when we're doing the present tense conjugation, or even we are saying that these are third group verbs, but when you are conjugating, you conjugate them as if they are all irregular ER verbs. You conjugate them as if they are regular ER verbs. The same apply to this one. You change the IR to ER, and then that's it. Move on with the conjugation. Très bien. Si vous avez des questions, vous pouvez poser. C'est bien compris? C'est bien compris, la classe? Avez-vous des questions?
No, no.
Okay. Donc, on continue. Now, take note of this. Unless a verb has an irregular future stem, its compounds will be formed regularly, even if the verb is irregular in the present tense. So take note of that. We did that when you have, for instance, a verb like manger. When it comes to nous mangeons, nous, you say nous mangeons, or the verbs ending in G-E-R, okay? When you get to nous, you say nous mangeons. But when you are conjugating in the future stem, it doesn't change that way. All you need is you take the whole of manger as future stem, and then you add the appropriate endings. The verb like commencer, when you get to the nous in the present tense form, you say nous commençons. But when you get to the future stem, it's not like that. You take the whole verb as a future stem, and then you add the normal endings. So that is the point. Double L and T, when conjugating verbs like appeler, you saw that, and hold jeter throughout in the future tense or time. Take a graph accent graph on the first of the stem for verbs like semer, acheter. Don't forget that. And then verbs like employer, nettoyer, essuyer, etc. change all the YER verb. You change the Y to I. C'est ça. Once you're able to get it like this, then you can confidently say that vous pouvez conjuguer tous les verbes futur simple. Le futur simple, c'est-à-dire vous avez bien compris le futur simple. Sinon, vous ne pouvez pas conjuguer les verbes forme futur simple. You cannot conjugate future stem or future simple future or future time in French. You need to take note of all the regular future stems. And once you get that, any verb that you come across, you should be able to conjugate that in future time or tense. Très bien. Si vous avez des questions, vous pouvez poser. Avez-vous des questions? Avez-vous des problèmes? Avez-vous des questions? Avez-vous des problèmes? Avez-vous des questions? Allô, classe?
Non.
Pas de questions? C'est-à-dire, c'est bien compris, n'est-ce pas? C'est bien compris?
Oui, oui. Oui, oui.
OK. Maintenant, si c'est bien compris, je cherche, tout le monde doit faire cet exercice, un petit exercice. Il y a un petit exercice à faire. OK? Par exemple, les étudiants. OK. Yeah. C'est où? Les étudiants. Les étudiants en vacances la semaine prochaine. Everybody should try it. Let me see. La semaine prochaine. Oh, pourquoi? Ici, c'est minuscule. And you have to write it in the future time. And the verb in bracket is, il faut mettre ça au futur simple. OK? Le verbe, c'est aller. Vite, les étudiants dash en vacances la semaine prochaine. And then the verb in bracket you have to put into future time is aller. Les étudiants dash, OK, la semaine prochaine. Oui, qui a fini? If you finish, you can put it at the chat column. Then I'll see. You can put your answer there. You can type your answer at the chat column. Les étudiants dash en vacances la semaine prochaine et le verbe c'est aller. This is just one lesson for me to see whether you are following it or not. Vite, les étudiants dash en vacances la semaine prochaine. Oui, qui a fini? Vite, faites vite, faites vite. Oui. Très bien. Peace. Bemu, très bien, très bien, très bien. The rest, you got 0/10. Peace. Take note, you got 10/10, okay? Tu as eu 10 sur 10. 10 sur 10. C'est ça, Peace a écrit. Les étudiants iront en vacances. Les étudiants iront en vacances la semaine prochaine. C'est ça. C'est ça, la réponse. Can you see the response? The answer from Peace. Can you see it? C'est bien. Donc, il faut noter ça. C'est correct. C'est correct. So, do well to revise all that you have done so far. Avez-vous des questions? Si vous avez des questions, so if you look at it here, you need to know it like that. Look at it. That's the trick. If you don't know this step, there is no way you can get it. There is no way that you can get it. Okay. If I say, we will do, okay, let me see. Another one, the last one, before you may end this session. Okay. Notre devoir après le cours. And the verb is faire. Faire. The verb in bracket is faire. So you have to put it in the future stem, future time or tense. Okay. Nous dash notre devoir après le cours. Et le verbe c'est faire. Le verbe c'est faire. Oui. Allez-y. Faites vite. Qui a fini? Qui a fini? Personne? Qui a fini? Nous dash notre devoir après le cours. Et le verbe, c'est quoi? Faire. Il faut mettre ça à forme futur simple. Au futur simple. Oui, la bonne réponse est quoi? Qui a fini? Personne? Classe, vous êtes là? Mes étudiants, est-ce que vous êtes là? Vous êtes là? Vous êtes là? Qui a fini? Qui a fini? OK, quelqu'un a écrit. Nous ferons. OK. OK, Théophilos, c'est correct. Peace, c'est correct aussi. Bravo. C'est ça. Donc, the correct answer given by Theophilus and Peace, c'est nous ferons comme ça. Nous ferons. Nous ferons notre devoir après le cours. Nous ferons notre devoir après le cours. Nous ferons notre devoir après le cours. Now, the translation for both sentences. The first one, what does it mean? Les étudiants iront en vacances la semaine prochaine et nous ferons notre devoir après le cours. Oui, la première phrase veut dire quoi en anglais? Qu'est-ce que veut dire ça en anglais? Les étudiants iront en vacances la semaine prochaine. Cela veut dire quoi en anglais? La traduction en anglais. Oui. Qui parle? Les étudiants iront en vacances la semaine prochaine. How will you translate that into English? So that if I give you in English, you should be able to write this for me. Oui, qui parle? Qui parle? Oui. Les étudiants, then you translate it into, okay, let me highlight, let me underline the second response. The answer, bien. Il doit souligner ça, n'est-ce pas? Oui. C'est bon comme ça. Oui, classe. Cela veut dire quoi? Les étudiants iront en vacances la semaine prochaine. Nous ferons notre devoir après le cours. On cherche la traduction en anglais. Oui. I have to call somebody. Oui. Daniel Ofori. Allô? Okay, Robinson Delali. Robinson Delali has raised their hand. Robinson Delali, on t'écoute. Question number
please.
1.
The students will go on vacation next week.
The students will go on vacation or will go on holiday next week. Très bien. La deuxième phrase, the second one, the students will go on holiday or vacation next week. Will go on holiday or will go on vacation next week. Oui, la deuxième question, la deuxième traduction, c'est quoi? The second translation will be all. Sera quoi? Nous ferons notre devoir après le cours. Oui. Oui. Okay, Kwasi Emmanuel Apeli has written, we will do our homework after class. Très bien, très bien. Kwasi, tu as bien fait. Tu as bien fait. Bravo. We will do our homework after class, or we do our homework after the lesson, or we do our homework after the lecture. Très bien. Très bien. Okay. Donc, c'est ça. Hein? So we need to know all this, and then you will be able to do everything that is expected of you. Avez-vous des questions? Si vous avez des questions, vous pouvez poser. Sinon, on peut terminer le cours maintenant. Avez-vous des questions? Avez-vous des questions? Avez-vous des problèmes? Avez-vous des commentaires sur ce qu'on vient de discuter? Oui. If you have any question, any challenge, let me know. Any comments on what we have discussed so far? Pas de questions? Pas de problème? Bon, si vous n'avez pas de questions ou bien des commentaires, on peut terminer le cours ici. Merci beaucoup.